Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It's Tara here coming to you with our weekly Workshop Wednesday video. All right, this week it's about fat loss. The number one thing that I hear from you guys that you want to hear about, and timing your meals. So last week, if you didn't catch that video, head back to that one. I actually wasn't able to upload that to my phone, so it didn't go out in my newsletter. The only place you can find that is right here on Facebook, so scroll back and find that. But we were talking about time-restricted feeding last week. It was a direct question from somebody inside my Facebook group. She wanted to know if doing intermittent fasting, I prefer to call it time-restricted feeding, was going to be helpful for her for weight maintenance. I get that question a lot of times from you guys about fat loss as well. So I got into it that way, but I sort of ended the video by saying, and I didn't really mean for it to be a teaser, but that meal timing can be overall a more helpful tool for fat loss than just time-restricted feeding, which, if you don't know, is just eating all of your food within a window of time during the day. So some people will eat all their food within 8 hours during the day, and then they fast for 16 hours, including the overnight hours. But here's the thing about mealtime. This is what I see a lot of people do. I see a lot of people try to implement the time-restricted feeding, but then give themselves free rein to just eat all of the time during their window of eating. And this could be because it's that all or nothing mentality, right? You're either allowed to eat or you're not allowed to eat. It could be because maybe you're not actually getting in enough fuel in that time, so your body's constantly sending you hunger signals during that time. But regardless of what it is, it's important that you time out your meals to where you actually allow things to come back down to baseline before you eat the next time, if fat loss is a big goal for you. And fat loss would be a goal for you if you have excess body weight that you want to lose, or even if you're happy with the weight that you're at, but you feel like you want to tone up. There's no such thing as toning up. We can't take one type of tissue and turn it into a different. We can't take a bit of fat tissue and turn it into muscle. All toning up means is that you can work on your muscles and building strength and simultaneously, or either before or after, lose the excess body fat. So if you want to tone up, what you mean is that you want to lose body fat too. So here's the deal with coming down. So every time we eat, we spike our insulin. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. That's okay. It's okay that it's a fat storage hormone. We need that. We need body fat to some extent. But if you have more than you'd like to have on your body, then you need to be thinking about how to actually utilize that stored body fat that you've got on your body right now as energy. That's the only way we get rid of it. Unless you're removing it surgically or something, we have to get rid of it by using it. And what that means is that we have to sort of supplement our own food and nutrition with our body fat. I know it sounds weird to say it like that, supplement, but supplement just means like in conjunction with, right? So you bring in plenty of nutrition and nourishment from your food, and you supplement a little bit with your own body fat, and together that makes the amount of energy that you need. You use that energy and you start to notice that your fat is decreasing off of your body. That's how it works. So in order for us to get into that optimal fat burning zone, we need to let everything come down. We can't stay with our insulin spiked high all the time, or spiked just very, very, very frequently throughout the day. So we can't be eating all the time, and we can't be spiking our insulin so high that we're not balancing our carbs out with proteins and fats, and we're just having carbs, let's just say. Then you're going to keep your insulin spiked high all the time. So it's really important to space out your meals. What that means for a lot of people is a lot of us don't need snacks during the day. And I know that I'm not going to be popular for saying that because everyone loves their snacks. I like to snack too. But if you're looking to lose body fat, one of the things you might want to consider is whether or not you really need snacks. Now, this is not for everybody, right? I can't sit here and speak to the vortex if I have no idea who's watching this video and tell you exactly what to do, because I don't know you. But what I can say is that, check with your doctor, check with your healthcare provider. But for most people, they can do without snacks. They can maybe bulk up their meals a little bit more, so it helps to hold them over, it helps to satisfy them. And the tendency anyway, when we eat meals rather than snacks, is to reach for healthier options anyway. Isn't that true? I think when we label something as a snack, it immediately gives at least some people free reign to have something that's out of what you would normally consider a meal. So let's say you do need a snack. Maybe you want to call it 4 meals instead of 3 meals and a snack, right? Because you can look at that other time that you're eating as another meal, another opportunity to get in vegetables and protein and healthy fats and all that good stuff. But here's the important thing. You're spacing it out. So you're not eating and eating again an hour later and eating again an hour later and grazing a little bit more and then eating some of your kids' food 45 minutes later. It's a real rest, right? Just like we wouldn't work out for 24 hours straight, we would never make any progress. The progress happens when we rest. It's the same idea when we're eating. So I want you to think about that. Have your meal, wait several hours, and then have your next meal. Okay, when it's time to have your next meal, if fat loss is a goal for you, you should be starting to feel hungry. So you need to really tune into your hunger cues, your fullness cues, all of that, right? This is some deep work, so this might take a little practice and effort. This is something that I go into really in detail with my clients when I work with them one-on-one. It's not something that will just happen overnight, but you can certainly start the process overnight. Start to become more aware of why you're eating, when you're eating. Is it an external cue? Is it because everyone else is eating? Is it because it's just time to eat and you think you have to? Or are you actually hungry? So if the goal of eating here is to fuel our own bodies, we need to be tuning into our own bodies a little bit more and figuring out what it actually needs. When you really tune in, you can find some amazing things. Like I will notice on a lighter workout day versus a heavier workout day how much hungrier I am. My body is screaming for me to fuel it because I did a heavier workout, let's just say. You might notice that if you're more active one day, your kids are home from school and you're running around with them all day versus a day that they're in school and you're not moving all that much, or you're at work and you're just sitting at your desk. You might notice how much more or less fuel your body's actually asking for during that time. But first, you have to balance out your meals so that you can actually trust those hunger cues, and then you have to turn your attention inward and pay attention to those hunger and fullness cues, okay? So bottom line for fat loss, time restricted feeding, maybe you implement that or not. I am a fan of it to some extent. If you want the details about how I feel about it, check out the video from last week. But let's talk about the times that you are eating. When you are eating, space out those meals. Give yourself several hours in between meals and then fuel yourself really well. This is not about starving ourselves. This is about really fueling your body and then giving yourself a chance to rest, digest your food, incorporate it into all the things it needs to incorporate it into, and wait until your insulin levels come down and you start to feel hungry. It should be a gradual process, not like a hangry thing. And then it's time to fuel your body again. I hope that helped. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comments and I will be sure to come back to them and answer them. See you in the next video. Bye.